Hello everyone, my name is Chan Xiaopei and my press number 278966. Today me and my friend will present about crime and punishment. There is no escape from the fact the crime rate continues to increase every single day despite the government taking so many precautionary measures. The truth to be told, the real world is a blend of multiple opportunities and mixed economics, which is why a lot of people get left out. There are many reasons why people commit crimes. For example, poverty, peer pressure, family conditions, drugs, unemployment, religion, and politics. There are five types of crimes, which is white-collar crimes, crimes against morality or victimless crimes, organized crime, crimes against persons, and crimes against property. I'm going to explain about peer pressure. This is a new form of concern in the modern world. Many young people commit crimes because they see a lot of their peers engaging in such acts. It is common for high school students and college-going students to engage in drugs, weed, marijuana, and a lot more. Young age is very critical since one is not filled with wisdom and experience, which is why a lot of people make the mistake of becoming criminals for no reason at all. Most youth who don't have a strong will, neglect or comply minor criminal acts often end up getting involved in big troubles. Unfortunately, many young people in this world don't realize that they are doing multiple criminal acts by being a part of things they are not supposed to be. Therefore, peer pressure is another notorious reason for why young people are compelled into joining the bandwagon. However, the second reason is family conditions. Family is also a big point of any person who is about to commit a crime. If you are not being able to provide for entire family as a poor person, at one point in time you will think of walking the negative path to get what your family needs. In most cases, when people are asked, they claim they need to provide for the family because of which they end up getting stuck behind bars. There are many things which go on within the family, compelling a person to get involved in criminal activities. Many young people engage in criminal activities for they believe it is their responsibility to take care of family, even if it means to commit a felony. In many burden cases, young people are often caught who then explain how the rich break them handsomely to do something they are not supposed to do. The reason is about unemployment. This skyrocketing factor in many countries is often the main reason why so many people commit crimes. You will be shocked to know more than 30% of people in this world are unemployed. It's quite frustrating after one fails to get a job post studying for years in high school and university. Unemployment is not just an issue relevant to the developing countries, but equally common in developed countries. Unfortunately, people spend lots of money on their education, but seldom come across a good job immediately post the completion of their studies. Most youngsters destroy their careers when they engage in criminal activities very early in their life.
Drug is one of the reasons for crime. Drugs have always been highly criticized by critics. A person who is addicted to drugs will at one point in time do something he or she isn't supposed to do. Drug addicts are often unable to get rid of addiction, as a result of which their life starts getting filled with bad habits. A poor lifestyle compels a person to adopt habits which he or she should distance themselves from. After research, when the most violent criminals were asked about their crimes, they blamed drugs as the main reason. Drug addiction is another rampantly growing disease which has slowly encapsulated many parts of the world. Then, TV violence. TV violence has gone up to staggering levels, and it does not help when people are influenced and try to emulate such acts of violence. TV violence is a major cause of crime, especially among younger people that are unable to differentiate between fiction and reality. Since TV has become such an integral part of people's life nowadays, it is important to draw clear lines between what is real and what is not. After that, poverty. This is perhaps one of the most concrete reasons why people commit crimes. Economic deprivation is seen as a major instigator in this regard. In a country where economic deprivation is rampant, it is common for people to engage in criminal acts. The hunger and poor economic conditions are what leads many people to involve themselves in criminal cases. One of the impacts for the victims is social impact. If someone has been the victim of a crime, it may impact their social life and relationships. If they have been the victim of a violent crime such as an assault, they may have lost the confidence to go out and meet friends. People who have been the victim of crime may face the physical effects of that crimes. For example, they may face mental conditions such as stress or depression. Then, social impact for criminals. People who have been convicted of committing a crime often lose the support of friends and families. This is particularly the case in white-collar crimes, where the criminal is shunned by friends, family, and colleagues. Also, criminals who are given prison sentences lose daily contact with their families. After that, impact for country physical. Crime has a negative impact on the physical environment of many poor communities of a country like Scotland. Vandalism and arson results on entire areas looking run down and unwelcoming. This affects the reputation of an entire country.
Criminal punishments such as rehabilitation, incapacitation, restitution, deterrence, reformation, and retribution. For rehabilitation, it prevents future crime by altering a defendant's behavior. Examples of rehabilitation include educational and vocational programs, treatment central placement, and counseling. The court can combine rehabilitation with incarceration or with probation or parole. In some states, for example, non-violent drug offenders must participate in rehabilitation in combination with probation, rather than submitting to incarceration. This lightens the load of jails and prisons while lowering recidivism, which means reoffending. This approach also typically gives jails the flexibility to mixed in rehabilitation programs as part of a criminal sentencing. The goal is to lower the rate of recidivism or people committing another crime after getting released from prison. Second is incapacitation. Incapacitation prevents future crime by removing the defendant from society. Examples of incapacitation are incarceration, house arrest, or execution pursuant to the death penalty. This is another ancient approach that remains popular. This includes incarceration in prison, house arrest, and in its more dire form, execution. Many feel the flaw in this approach is that it does not address rehabilitation or recidivism, the latter of which tends to remain high in societies that practice incapacitation. Next is restitution. It prevents future crime by punishing the defendant financially. Restitution is when the court orders the criminal defendant to pay the victim for any harm and resembles a civil litigation damage award. Restitution can be for physical injuries, loss of property or money, and rarely emotional distress. It can also be a fine that covers some of the costs of criminal prosecution and punishment. Next, I'm going to invite my friend Sun Jing to continue with the presentation. That's all from me. Thank you.
Then, the solution to solve the case of crimes is retribution. This is one of the first forms of punishment, essentially the idea of an eye for an eye. Those who favor retribution believe it gives the victim of crime or society as a whole a sense of satisfaction knowing a criminal received the appropriate level of punishment for the crime committed. Lawmakers face the task of determining these appropriate levels of punishment, which can range from the speeding ticket fine amounts to mandatory sentences for certain crimes. Then, reformation. Remodeling the system such as educational, economic jurisdiction that breeds criminals is a core necessity. There is a saying that if you want to change others, start by changing yourself. Everything is related and we all are in a way responsible for the way our world is. Other than that, deterrence. Deterrence aims to prevent future crime and can focus on specific and general deterrence. Specific deterrence deals with making an individual less likely to commit a future crime because of fear of getting a similar or worse punishment. General deterrence refers to the impact on members of the public who become less likely to commit a crime after learning of the punishment another person experienced. In the conclusion, crime prevention is a collective responsibility. Although police presence has a strong impact on fighting crimes, the public too can play its role by improving security on the street and our neighborhoods. Only then can we help to reduce the crime. We must come together in a true spirit and be resolved to fight crimes.